Hope you guys remember treatment of under absorption, over absorption. If at all absorbed amount is more than actual overhead, then we will treat it as over absorption. If the absorbed amount is less than under absorption, if at all absorbed amount is less than actual overhead, we call it as under absorption. But while calculating actual amount, please be careful. All these abnormal items, obsolescence, wage paid due to labor court order, all those nonsense things, last year expenses booked during the year period, all those should be excluded from the actual overhead itself before comparing actual with absorbed. Correct? Then after comparing, we will get under absorption, over absorption. Just check for the amount, whether it is smaller amount or whether it's larger amount. Now the question is, how much is smaller, sir? How much is larger? Look at the question. If they have given 7-8 marks, that means they are expecting you to do something more. Then it is larger amount. If at all the question is 2 marks MCQ, costing period. Please, smart. Huh? So once amount is smaller, charge it to costing period. Amount is larger, then just check why the difference is coming. Why there is a under absorption, over absorption. The portion will be relating to normal reasons like increase in prices, etc. The portion will be relating to abnormal reasons due to management fault or the wrong estimation, all those abnormal reasons. Whatever the abnormal reasons are there, straight away charge it to costing P&L. Whatever the normal reasons are there, that you have to calculate supplementary rate. How to calculate supplementary rate, sir? Very simple. Under or over absorbed amount will be there. No, divide it with the units produced during the period. Units produced means, please keep in mind, inclusive of the amount spent on WIP. That means whatever the units you sold plus whatever the units are in closing. If at all opening stock of finished goods is there, whatever the units you sold, everything you didn't produce during the year, that you exclude and take that portion. Plus closing stock of finished goods. Plus closing stock of WIP, equivalent WIP. If at all opening WIP is there, the remaining portion will be treated as produced during the period. That we'll take in the denominator and we'll find out supplementary rate. Once you find out supplementary rate relating to sold units, you are going to charge it to COS, cost of sales. Sold units into supplementary rate. Relating to closing stock of finished goods produced during the year, you are going to charge it to finished goods account. That is units into finished goods, closing stock into rate. And relating to WIP, you are going to charge it to WIP account. That is WIP into supplementary rate. That is equivalent WIP units. Please keep in mind, because the rate when you were computing, you didn't take WIP as it is, you took equivalent WIP. Is that clear? If opening is there, please be careful. Very simple. The treatment of opening or closing. Remember, here you are trying to find out units produced during the period. That means whatever is sold, if at all opening stock of finished goods is there, whatever you sold, everything was not produced during the period. For example, only finished goods I will tell now. Opening 10,000, sold 1 lakh, closing 20,000. Opening 10,000, sold 1 lakh, closing 20,000. Now, that doesn't mean that total 1,20,000 is produced. No, out of 1 lakh sold, 10,000 was of last year. That didn't take any overhead during the period. Only 90,000 items took. Plus 20,000, which is closing. Because FIFO approach, we assume closing stock what is there is produced during the period. That means how many units we produced? 1,10,000. Also, let's say they will tell 10,000 units are there in WIP closing, which are 40% complete. That means those 10,000 consumed equivalent to 4,000 finished goods. That means that is consumed during the period. That I will add. Opening WIP is there, let's say 10,000 units, 60% complete, or let's say 70% complete. That means 30% got completed during the period. So 3,000. What we should do? No, listen here. I will tell, concentrate. Opening stock of finished goods is how much? 10,000 units. Correct now? Sold is how much? 1 lakh units. Closing stock of finished goods how much? 20,000. Correct now? Now, Opening stock of WIP how much? Or let's say 20,000 units. Okay, which are 60% complete. Closing stock of WIP is how much? 10,000, let's say, which are 60% complete. Keep this also 60%. Now listen guys, we want to know exactly how much units produced during the period. Out of this 1 lakh sold, of course 10,000 will be out of finished goods. Last year opening stock, this year opening stock, last year closing stock. That means 90,000 plus total 1,10,000. But best part is we didn't give resource required for 1,10,000 because there was something in opening WIP already, which was 60% complete. That means relating to this 20,000 units, we have given overhead equivalent to just 8,000. So in this 1,10,000, 20,000 is that unit, no, which was there in WIP. So I will reduce 20,000 because I didn't give 20,000 equivalent input. I will add back 8,000 because for the 20,000 units, I have given resource equivalent to how many units? 8,000 units. That means although 1,10,000 is produced during the period, the resource consumed was just equal to 98,000. Also closing WIP is there, no, which is not included in this. That consumed resource equivalent to 6,000 units. That I will add. 1,04,000. Is that clear? This is the treatment of opening. Generally opening they won't give in this kind of question because the complications you can see. But now I hope you guys understood when opening is there what to do. Anyone want me to repeat? Okay, great. Now we calculate supplementary rate, no? Yes, you can. 12,000 directly you can reduce it. No problem. Now, whatever the supplementary rate you get, if you multiply with the units produced and sold, that is out of 1 lakh, 10,000 was opening. Correct? Because sold everything was not produced during the period. 90,000. Also, that opening WIP, 20,000. That was not completely produced. Only equivalent to 8,000 was produced. That means reduce 12,000. That means 78,000. Equivalent to 78,000, I will charge it to cost of sales. 90,000 is sold. Sorry, 1 lakh is sold. In the 10,000 though, not at all relating to the period. For that you don't charge anything. Take it out. 90,000. In that 90,000 also everything is not produced from the scratch. 70,000 produced from the scratch. You can think this way. 70,000 produced from the scratch. Remaining 20,000 was what was there in opening WIP. That consumed resource equal to just 8,000 units. So, although it was 90,000, which consumed resource equal to 78,000. 78,000 into supplementary rate I will multiply and I will charge it to COS. Closing. No, that is for COS. Closing will come to finished goods account. Finished goods account 20,000 into supplementary rate because the assumption is whatever is there in the finished goods, everything is started to produce during the period and completed. That means 100% resource is of current period. So completely I will charge there. Next is your WIP. WIP closing WIP, which is equal to 6,000 units. 6,000 units into I will take. Finish. Understood? Shall we see few questions relating to that fast? Look at this question number 35. That is there in the study material. Total overhead expense of the factory is 446,380. Taking into account the normal workings of the factory, overheads was recovered in the production at 1.25. That they are telling recovery rate, absorption rate. The actual hours worked for period is 293,104. Always remember absorption should be done on standard hours for actual output. If they don't give standard hours, then we treat actual hours itself as a standard hours. I repeat again, absorption rate should be unit basis, means absorption rate should be multiplied with actual output to arrive at absorbed overhead. Hours basis means absorption rate will be multiplied with standard hours to arrive at absorbed overhead. However, generally in overhead chapter, they don't give standard hours information. That's why we will multiply with actual hours. More about that standard hours thing we are going to discuss in a standard costing. Stay tuned. For the time being, you think it as actual hours. Okay. Now, guys, how much is the actual overhead? 4,46,380. How much is the absorbed overhead? 293 hours, 104 hours we worked. And we should absorb 1.25 per hour. How much we are going to absorb? 3,66,380. Correct? State how would you proceed to close the books of accounts, assuming that besides 7,800 units produced, of which 7,000 were sold. That means they are only telling how many units we produced. 7,800. There are 200 equivalent WIP. That means denominator 7,800 finished goods produced during the period, 200 equivalent WIP, 8,000. Denominator is 8,000 to calculate supplementary rate. Is that clear? On the investigation, it was found that 50% was due to increase in the cost of indirect material and indirect labor, moral of the story, normal in nature. Whereas remaining 50% was due to factory inefficiency, we should charge it to costing P&L. So listen, actual overhead is how much? 4,46,380. Absorbed is how much? That means under absorption or over absorption? Hey, you absorbed less than what you incurred. Got it? Now, in this, I will divide 50%, 50%. 40,000 due to normal reasons, 40,000 due to abnormal reason. This I am going to straight away charge it to costing P&L as it's a over absorption, sorry, under absorption loss. So I should debit to costing P&L. This 40,000, I have to calculate the supplementary rate. Right? Supplementary rate shall be, guys. Supplementary rate shall be 40,000 is your under absorbed amount divided by how many units we actually produced, 7,800, plus how many equivalent units of WIP are still in production which consume the resource, 200, total 8,000. That means total how much? Oh my god, who is this? How much? 5 per unit, not hour. Please keep in mind. Okay. Now listen. Supplementary rate done. First, cost of sale. How many units we sold? 7,000 units we sold at the rate of 5 rupees, which would come to, okay, all these things we should debit because it's a loss. Done. Finished goods account relating to unsold units produced during the period, 800 units, because 7,800, 7,000 was sold, 4,000. And WIP account, which is relating to closing WIP, equivalent units you should take, 200 into 5. Total 40,000 is addressed, their other 40,000 is addressed. Total 80,000 of under absorption or over under absorption is addressed. Is that clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Anyone any doubt in this? Please let me know. If there is no doubt, we can proceed. Anyone any doubt or no doubt? No doubt. We can proceed. Complete the table regarding accounting entries pertaining to over or under absorption of 3 absorption overheads. Under absorption, stock of finished goods account, what we should do? We should debit it. Correct? How to calculate the amount? closing stock of finished goods multiplied with supplementary rate. Over absorption credit. How to calculate the amount? WIP, that is equivalent WIP, guys. Equivalent WIP of closing stock of equivalent WIP into supplementary rate. Under absorption, cost of sales debit, that is sold units produced during the period into, or produced units sold during the period multiplied with supplementary rate. Got it? Look at this. PYP November 2019, for 10 marks they asked this. ABS Enterprises produces a product and adopts the policy to recover factory overhead applying the blanket rate based on the machine hours. The cost records of the concern reveal the following. Budgeted production overhead is 10,35,000. Budgeted machine hours is 90,000. So your absorption rate will be computed on budgeted data. Correct? How much it would be per hour? Per hour, okay? Done. Actual machine hours worked are 45,000. So your absorbed overhead will be how much? Absorbed overhead will be 45,000 into 11.5. 5 lakh. Your absorbed overhead is 5,17,500. Actual production overhead is 8,80,000, which includes paid to worker as per court's order, wages, stores, expense. That means these are abnormal. Straight away it should go to costing P&L. It should not even come to analysis. How much it is total? $1,28,000. 1,28,500. So how much is your actual? 7,51,500. So of course actual overhead is still more than absorbed overhead. So it is under absorption. How much, guys? Sorry, 2,34,000. Is that clear? Now you understood till under absorption? Any doubt? No. The analysis of the cost information reveals that 1/3 of under absorption was due to defective production planning, balance is due to cost. That means 2/3 is normal, 1/3 is abnormal. As it's under absorption loss, we should debit the accounts. So 2/3 is how much? 1,56,000. 1/3 is 78,000. Straight away this will go to costing P&L. This 1,50,000, 56,000 we should calculate supplementary rate. See there, production. Finished goods 30,000. Sale of finished goods 27. They are not telling anything about WIP. So we assume there is no WIP. So supplementary rate will be 1,56,000 divided by units produced during the period 30,000, which is gonna be 5.2 per unit. Correct? Now first, to find out the amount of under absorption of overhead, rupees 2,34,000. To give the way of treating in cost accounts. So cost of sale should be debited. To what extent? 27,000 into rupees 5.2. 1,40,400. Finished goods account to be debited with 3,000 because you produced 30,000, you sold 27,000. 3,000 is in closing. 3,000 into 5.2. 15,600. Got it? And a portion the under done. Anyone any doubt in this? Hope it's clear, everyone. Any doubts? Pakka? We can proceed. One more past year paper question. do one or two more questions and tomorrow we'll continue, no problem. Full time is there. Look at this 38th question. XYZ Limited manufactures a single product. It recovers factory overhead at a predetermined rate of rupees 20 per man day. Okay, that is your recovery rate. During the year 2021, the factory overheads incurred and the man days actually worked were 35.5 and 1.5 days, 1.5 lakhs respectively. That means how much is your absorbed overhead? 1.5 into 20, 30 lakhs. Your absorbed overhead is 30 lakhs. Correct, no? Now, out of the amount of 35.5, that is actual overhead, 2 lakhs was due to strike period, abnormal. 1 lakh was due to expense of previous year booked. That means 3 lakh is abnormal. So, for the computation, actual overhead to be considered is 35.5 minus 3, 32.5. 32.5. Whereas your absorbed overhead is 30. That means your under absorption is 2.5 lakhs. Is that clear? Done. During the period, 50,000 units were sold, not produced, sold. At the end of the period, 12,000 units were completed and held in stock and there was no opening stock. That means total units produced during the period are 62,000 units. 50,000 sold and 12,000 with us. Similarly, there was no stock of uncompleted uncompleted units. That is, there is no opening WIP they are telling. If that is the case, you know what to do. We already discussed. But at the end, there is 20,000 units which are 65% complete. That means these are equivalent to 13,000 units. Correct now? So for our denominator, total it will be 75,000 units. On investigation, it was found that 40% was due to factory inefficiency, abnormal. Remaining was due to attributable to increase in the cost. So 40% is how much? 1 lakh. This will straight away go to P&L. Correct? Debit it as it's under absorption. Whereas remaining 1.5 lakh, we have to calculate supplementary rate, which is basically 1,50,000 divided by 75,000 rupees, 2 per unit. Okay. Now, how much should go to cost of sales? 50,000 units sold. So, relating to that, 50,000 into rupees 2, which is 1 lakh. How much should go to finished goods? Finished goods, 12,000 is there in the stock. 12,000 into rupees 2, 24,000. And your closing WIP, 13,000 is there. 20. Got it. This is the treatment. Show the accounting treatment they are asking. Nothing. COS account, FG account, WIP account, costing P&L will be debited with the respective amounts. Overhead under absorption account will be credited. More about that you are going to learn in chapter number 7. Cost accounting system. Is that clear? We'll see one more question. Yes? One last question. I mean similar question only. Nothing much. Study material question. In a factory, overhead of a particular department are recovered on the basis of 5 rupees per machine hour. The total expense incurred and actual machine hours were 80,000 and 10,000. So absorbed overhead is how much? 10,000 hours. Recovery rate is 5 rupees, which is gonna be 50,000. Correct? Of the amount 80,000, 15,000 became payable due to award of labor court. 5,000 was due to last year expense booked. That means 20,000 is abnormal. That means actual overhead for comparison is only 60,000. That means there is under absorption of 10,000. Okay. Actual production is 40,000. Okay, of which 30,000 was sold. On analysis, it was found that 60% was due to defective planning. That means in this 10,000, 6,000 will go to costing P&L. And remaining was due to normal increase. That is, this 4,000 we should calculate supplementary rate. There is no closing WIP as such. So 4,000 divided by 40,000 units produced during the period, which is rupees 0.1 per unit. Correct? Out of 40,000, 30,000 sold. To cost of sales, it is 30,000 into 0.1 to be debited, which is gonna be 3,000. And to your finished goods, 10,000 units into 0.1 to be debited, which is gonna be 1,000. So accounting entry should be cost of sales 3,000, finished goods 1,000, costing P&L 6,000 to overhead control. If at all it's not transferred to overhead under absorption account. Is that clear or not clear, everyone? Pakka? No doubts? Did I say that as the last question by any chance? Yes. One last question. Trust me. Seriously, one last question. See here. In a manufacturing unit, factory overhead was recovered at a predetermined rate of 25 per man day. Actual factory overhead is 41.5, 1.5 man day is worked. So, how much is 1.5 into 25? 37.5, yeah. So, absorbed overhead is 37.5 lakhs. Correct? Yes. Actual overhead is, guys, 41.5 because no treatment is there. That means rupees 4 lakh is under absorption. Out of 40,000 units produced, 30,000 were sold. Awesome. There is no closing WIP as such. On the analysis, it was found that 60% was due to defective planning. That means straight away 2.4 will go to costing P&L. Remaining 1.6, we have to calculate supplementary rate. 1,60,000 divided by units produced during the period. 40,000 per unit, rupees 4. So to the sold units, it will go to cost of sales. 30,000 into 4, which will go to 1.2. And your closing stock will go to finished goods account, which is 10,000 into 4, which is 40,000. Got it? Entry will be cost of sales 1.2, finished goods 0.4 lakhs, costing P&L 2.4 lakhs, to overhead control or under absorption 4 lakhs. Got it? Don't worry, I don't lie like that and all. Come on. If I say that is last, that is not. Trust me, one last and we are winding up. Trust me, one last. The cost variance report was being discussed at a review meeting where in cost accountant of the company reported under absorption of production overhead. Following information was available from the cost record of the company at the end of financial year 23-24. Actual production overhead is 4,50,000, which includes 42,000 written off as obsolete. Moral of the story, actual overhead is 4,08,000 only. 18,000 were produced during the period where 10,000 is sold, 8,000 is still unfinished. Still in stock. And there were also 5,000 units in progress, which may be 40% complete. That means these are equal to 2,000 units. That means my denominator will be how much? 20,000 units. 18,000 produced, 2,000 in closing WIP. Correct? There were also the actual machine hours worked is 43,000. And how much is the recovery rate? They haven't given it. Sometimes they don't give recovery rate directly. They will give budgeted overhead, budgeted hours. You have to compute. So 43,000. Here they have told 8 rupees machine hour. How much? 3,44,000. Guys, actual is 4,08,000. Absorbed is 3,44,000. 64,000 is your under absorption. 64,000 is your under absorption. Is that clear? On investigation, it was found that 20% of under absorption was due to defective planning. 80% is due to normal. That means 12,800 is going to be there in the costing P&L. 51. 200 we have to calculate supplementary rate. Units somewhere I wrote already 20,000. Correct? So per unit how much? 2.56. To cost of sales it is, how many units were sold? 10,000 were sold. 10,000 into 2.56. Rupees 25,600. Finished goods, 8,000 units are still with us. 2.56. 20,480. And WIP guys, equivalent units you should take. 5,000 are there but only 40% complete. 2,000. 2,000 into 2.56. 5,000. Got it? 51,200. Here 12,800. Total 64,000 sorted. Is that clear? Great. Fine. We have few more questions to discuss. We'll do one thing. Tomorrow morning we'll discuss that, followed by ABC, followed by service costing. Because ABC won't take much time. Of course, it's bit bigger chapter, but not much things to do. Calculation takes time. But anyhow, we are not presenting it and all here. Roughly we are calculating and all. So that will be done tomorrow. Chalo, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye. Tada.